Well, for more on the charges that he's made against Jet-Etihad and also AirAsia, joining us now is Subramanian Swamy. Mr. Swamy, appreciate you joining us here on India Business Hour. Before I actually get to the objections that you've raised as far as the Jet-Etihad deal is concerned, let me ask you about why you're opposing the AirAsia deal. You've said this morning that you want the AirAsia deal scrapped. What is your objection to the AirAsia deal, sir?
Well, the policy was very clear that there are two aspects of it. There are many aspects, but let me highlight two aspects. One is that the foreign investment is only permitted for an existing airline. There is no existing airline here in India. Tata is not an existing airline. And therefore, AirAsia, well, I have a good opinion about them.
So then why would you oppose it, sir? If you have a good opinion about them, if the Indian consumer stands to benefit, then why would you oppose this particular transaction, which has got on board one of the most stellar names in Indian corporate history, the Tatas, as a joint venture partner? Why are you opposing this particular deal? And even as far as the FDI regulation is concerned, that was a matter that was clarified by the DIPP.
They have not clarified it. When the Civil Aviation Ministry itself has in the Foreign Investment Promotion Board stated that this is against the regulations, that it has to be an existing airline. It's very clear. Mr. Ajit Singh told the business line of Hindu that under no circumstances can be given to any airline which is not existing. So the question doesn't arise. It's a question of regulations. We have to live by regulations.
If we're living by regulations, Mr. Swamy, the FIPB has taken a decision to allow AirAsia to operate in this country. The FIPB, which has had consultations with each and every ministry that you've just talked about, has said that AirAsia is okay with flying in this country.
The FIPB is one of the most scandalous bodies of India under Chidambaram's leadership. It did so in the Aircel Maxis also. It has done it in this, and when I challenge it in court, I'll bring it out. How do they disregard this fundamental regulation?
Is your objection against the FIPB or is your objection against Mr. Chidambaram, sir?
Both combined. There is no difference between the two.
So are you saying that even as far as the AirAsia matter is concerned, that you are going to move court even on AirAsia?
Of course. I may move earlier than this one, because I think the Jet-Etihad is going to take a long time to finalize.
So now,
this one,
Mr. Swamy, so you're saying that you will actually move on AirAsia before you will move the Supreme Court against Jet-Etihad?
Yes, because Jet-Etihad is still going to take a long time to consider. It's not going to be cleared soon.
So then, Mr. Swamy, if you're now saying that Jet-Etihad will take a long time to clear through the day, and in your letter to the Prime Minister, you've been talking about this sense of urgency, the haste that the government is shown in trying to clear this deal. You yourself are now saying that the Jet-Etihad deal is far from being cleared.
Thanks to my letter, it is going to be delayed. Otherwise, it would have been cleared by now.
So you're taking credit for the fact that the government hasn't acted on giving it clearance?
I'm not taking credit. I wrote a letter and the action followed immediately after my letter. The action speaks louder than anything I might say.
But Mr. Swamy, let's look at the facts, and let's leave conjecture aside, but let's look at the facts, because the bilaterals have not
I'm not making any conjectures.
But as far as bilaterals are concerned, the bilateral agreement, the Indian government has not signed with the Abu Dhabi government so far. As far as the FIPB clearance is concerned, the Jet-Etihad deal has not been cleared by the FIPB. The matter was deferred again. As far as SEBI's clearance is concerned, the matter has not been cleared by SEBI. As far as the Competition Commission of India is concerned, the matter has not been cleared by the Competition Commission of India as yet. So perhaps are you being a bit premature in pronouncing the fact that this deal ought to be scrapped?
Had I not written the letter on May 28th, the FIPB would have cleared it on June 11th. That was the understanding that I have on the basis of what people told me, many of them who are members of the FIPB meeting. So it's because of my letter that this happened. So there's no premature. It was very well timed. It was at the right time when I saw that they even were disregarding the parliamentary committee, standing committee report, that I thought the time had come for me to write a letter, and I wrote the letter to the Prime Minister to say that if the deal gets cleared, he would be culpable under Section 13 of the Prevention of Corruption Act.
So what is your biggest objection? Is your objection the bilateral agreement, or is it the ownership issue, sir?
If my biggest objection has to be summarized, it is that the Indian airlines industry is sought to be wrecked by 4 ministers who have some other motives other than national interests.
All right, Mr. Swamy, so you're saying that you will move the Supreme Court against AirAsia's deal, but you will not move the Supreme Court against Jet-Etihad, at least not as of now.
Yeah, till they take a decision, I can't move. I go to the Supreme Court.
Well, even as far as AirAsia is concerned, so they have not got an NOC from the Civil Aviation Ministry.
No, they have crossed they have crossed the FIPB.
They have crossed the FIPB, but they're yet to get a license to fly.
Please listen. Please listen. FIPB is an illegal decision. So I have a cause of action. Here there is no decision where I can take a cause of action in the court. You must know the requirements of the court.
All right, Mr. Swamy.
Before I can go to court.
All right, Mr. Swamy, we will leave it there. Appreciate you joining us here on India Business Hour with your thoughts on both these transactions.